maligayang araw sa inyong lahat. Before I start the discussion, let me challenge your mind because this is connected on what we're going to discuss today. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5.
Hope you guys enjoy the game. Hope you are doing well, and I hope all is well. So let's move on and let's start to discuss about executive control processes. Executive control processes. The executive control processes involve the executive processor, or what is referred to as metacognitive skills. These processes guide the flow of information through the system, help the learner make informed decisions about how to categorize, organize, or interpret information. Example of processes are attention, rehearsals, and organization. When we say executive control processes, it is mental processes needed when you have to concentrate and pay attention. Nakatutulong ito para makontrol ang ating behavior. And ang executive control processes, siya yung nag-guide sa atin kung paano mag-decide or to choose. Kung alin ba ang dapat mong piliin at bigyan ng atensyon o i-ignore. Hindi naman kasi tayo matututo kung hindi tayo nakikinig at binibigyan atensyon ang nagsasalita. We need to pay attention and concentrate. We use these executive control processes to manage our everyday life. For example, nagpunta ka sa grocery store, tapos nagkita ka ng chocolate and natitempt ka kung bibilhin mo ba o hindi dahil nga nagda-diet ka o gusto mo mag-lose ng weight. So, kailangan mong mag-decide kung ano ba yung dapat mong piliin. And yung mga taong may problema daw pagdating sa executive processes is may tendency sila na mahirapang mag-memorize o mag-manage ng time kapag gumagawa ng task o project. Forgetting is the inability to retrieve or access information when needed. Natatandaan mo pa ba kung anong suot mo kahapon? Anong umagahan mo noong nakaraang Sabado? Why do we remember some things and not others? What causes us to forget? May mga bagay talaga na mabilis nating nalilimutan at yung ibang memories ay di na nare-recover. Because our memory is not perfect. Minsan pa, madalas natin nasasabi na, ako, nasa dulo na ng dila ko eh. Tanda ko pa ang tawag doon eh, ano nga yun, basta nasa dulo na ng dila ko. And our memories are not necessarily permanent. They can disappear over time. At yun yung tinatawag nating forgetting. Forgetting someone na nanakit sa'yo, forgetting someone na ginos ka. Well, it is just an example, not true to life story. So ang tanong, bakit nga ba tayo nakakalimot? Let's move on to the next slide. There are two main ways in which forgetting likely occurs. Let us discuss first what is decay. Decay. Information is not attended to and eventually fades away, very prevalent in working memory. So, decay is a theory that our memories fade automatically as a function of time. Dito sa theory na to, kapag daw hindi natin nagagamit o napapractice ang ating memory, there's a possibility na our memory decays and nagre-resulta ito na hirap tayo mag-recall o mag-memorize ng mga information. Isang halimbawa, agad nating nalilimutan ang pangalan ng isang tao kahit na madalas naman natin siya nakakasama o kanina lang natin nakasama pero hirap nating alalahanin kung ano ang kanyang pangalan. Because over time, our memory becomes harder to remember. A memory is most easily recalled when it is brand new and without rehearsals begins to forgotten. Kasi nga dapat ang ating memory ay nare-rehearse o napapractice natin para hindi natin malimutan yung mga old information. Okay, let's proceed to number 2, interference. Interference. New or old information blocks access to the information in question. Madalas siguro nangyayari sa atin yung mas madali nating nare-recall yung recent events than those farther in the past. Dito sa interference theory, nahirapan tayong ma-recall yung mga similar memory of one event with another. Halimbawa, si Sarah ay tinanong ko kung anong umagahan niya noong nakaraang Sabado. Ngayon, nahihirapan siyang ma-recall kasi she have so many similar memories of other meals. Another example, kunwari si Vanessa ay nagpalit ng phone number. Ngayon, hirap siya na ma-memorize o maalala yung bago niyang number. Kaya maaaring in some situation, in some cases, ang naibigay niya palang number ay yung luma. So, the memory of old number interferes with your ability to recall your new number. Isa pang halimbawa, kapag may exam, mas natatandaan natin yung mga information na na-review natin bago ang exam kaysa dun sa new information. Okay, next. Methods for increasing retrieval of information. Number 1, rehearsal. This is repeating information verbatim, either mentally or aloud. So, ano ba yung rehearsal strategy? In rehearsal strategy, this is repeating information to learn it. Para matuto tayo at matandaan yung informasyon, we uses repeated practice. Halimbawa, habang nagre-review tayo, yung terms, pinapaulit-ulit natin basahin. Minsan may nagre-review na malalakas ang boses kasi doon natin nare-recall yung information. At yung ibang learners naman, mas prepared nila na sila lang ang nakaririnig ng kanilang binabasa. Nag-i-increase yung familiarity natin sa information o sa term kung nare-rehearse o pinapractice natin ng paulit-ulit. Number 2, meaningful learning. This is making connections between new information and prior knowledge. Ito naman yung most effective way for students to engage in learning. In this learning, ang bata ay kinokonek ang kanyang bagong kaalaman to prior knowledge. According to David Ausubel, ang ating past experiences or previous knowledge will serve as an anchor when obtaining new knowledge. Kumbaga, dito nagagamit natin yung stock knowledge natin para mas maunawaan at maintindihan pa yung lesson. Kaya dito, napakahalaga ng pagbibigay examples ng teacher sa learner na connected sa dati niyang kaalaman at sa pamamagitan nun, mas madaling matututo ang learner. So, ilang tips to promote meaningful learning are: make sure na yung mga activities na ipapagawa natin is interested yung students. And maaari tayong gumamit ng magpagawa ng debates, group work, games, and analogies. At dapat active ang students during the process. Number 3, organization. It is making connections among various pieces of information. Info that is organized efficiently should be recalled. Dito naman sa organization, according to some researcher, kapag naka-organize daw yung ideas, concepts, and terms, mas mabilis na mare-recall ang information. For example, naka-outline ang iyong notes, naka-highlight yung important details, and very organized. Another example, kapag nagme-memorize ka ng human anatomy, so, di ba mahirap mag-memorize ng parts of the human body? So, anong pwede mong gawin as a learner? Simple lang, unahin mo yung i-organize yung parts into system, base sa function o kaya sa location. Number 4, elaboration. This is adding additional ideas to new information based on what one already knows. It is connecting new info with old to gain meaning. So, kasi nga ang ating memory is a combination of old and new information. Dito, sa elaborative encoding, nare-recall natin ang information, depende kung paano natin i-connect sa ating old information o knowledge. Dito din yung nag-a-add ka ng info para mas maging malinaw sa'yo yung topic based on sa sarili mong kaalaman o sarili mong pagpapakahulugan sa mga term. Visual imagery. This means forming a picture of the information. Dito naman sa visual imagery, sa method na to, mas mabilis natin natatandaan yung info kapag may picture. So, yung ibang learners, mas prepare nila yung visualization. Kasi doon sila mas natututo at nagigain ng learning. Pinipicture out nila yung topic in their mind. So, useful daw itong method na to kapag sa math or science subject dahil more on abstract yung involved doon. Involved dito, syempre, ang ating senses of sight. Number 6, generation. Things we produce are easier to remember than things we hear. Sabi ng ilang researcher, mas mabilis daw nare-retain sa memory natin ang information kapag tayo mismo ang gumagawa o nagpo-produce kaysa sa naririnig lang natin. Kaya naman, mas recommended na isulat natin o mag-jot down tayo ng mga notes habang nagdi-discuss ang teacher. Hindi yung basta lang tayo nakikinig. Kasi sa pamamagitan nun, mas madali tayong natututo at nare-recall yung information. Number 7, context. Remembering the situation helps recover information. Some people says na kapag daw magte-take tayo ng exam in some situation o environment, ay mas madali nating nare-recall yung information. Yung similar environment and context. For example, habang nagre-review ka, pinapatugtog mo yung paborito mong kanta. Tapos, kapag dumating na yung examination, bigla mong naalala yung kanta o yung lyrics ng kanta. Kaya naman, kinanta mo habang nag-e-exam ka. Kasabay nun, natatandaan mo din yung info para masagutan yung question. Isa pang halimbawa, kapag nagre-review ka ay ngumunguya ka ng bubble gum. At pagdating ng exam, ganun din ang gawin mo. Because it helps to easily remember the information with the same context. Okay, next. Personalization. It is making the information relevant to the individual. What is personalized learning? In personalization, sinasabi na in order to learn the students, kailangan ma-determine natin kung ano yung interest nila o saan ba sila nag-excel. Dapat daw ang bata o ang learners ay hinahayaan natin ma-discover ang kanilang sariling kaalaman o talento. Dahil nga, meron tayo kanya-kanyang intelligences na kinabibilangan. Kaya, as an educator, we need to make sure kung ano ba yung relevant info for the learners. And personalized learning normally involves students in deciding their own learning process. Napakahalaga lalo sa ating mga educator na ma-assist ang interest, strength, and weaknesses of each student. Okay, let's proceed to other memory methods for increasing retrieval of information. Number 1. Serial position effect, recency, and primacy. You will remember the beginning and end of a list more readily. In this serial position effect, it happens when a person recalls the first and last items in the list more often than the middle items. For example, may part ng enumeration sa exam. Enumerate the methods in retrieving information. Kapag sinusulat na natin, mas natatandaan natin yung una at huli, which is the rehearsals and personalization. When we say primacy effect, ang focus ng information is on the top while the recency effect is in the middle of the list. Number 2, part learning. Break up the list or chunk information to increase memorization. Dito sa part learning, siguro marami sa atin yung gumagawa ng chunking o breaking of information para mas lalong mapadali yung pagme-memorize natin. For example, nahirapan ka sa definition ng term, ang gagawin mo ngayon, ipinaparaphrase mo in your own words based sa pagkakaunawa mo. Pwede mong i-divide yung text into sections. Sa pagme-memorize ng tula, maaaring one stanza muna, and then the other day, yung second stanza, and so on. Okay, number 3. Distributed practice. Break up learning sessions rather than cramming all the info in at once, or mass practice. In this method naman, nagkakaroon dito ng time management kung saan kada subject o lesson, may time allowance ka. Hindi yung nagtatagal ka lang sa kare-review sa isang subject. Kailangan may schedule of study ka to avoid cramming o yung mass practice na hindi na tayo magkaintindihan kung alin ang uunahin o alin ba ang dapat gawin. And according to some researchers, distributed practice promotes meaningful learning and long-term benefit. And last, mnemonic aids. These are memory techniques that learners may employ to help them retain and retrieve information more effectively. This includes the loci technique, acronyms, sentence construction, peg word, and association techniques, among others. So, siguro lahat tayo ay pamilyar na sa method na to, kung saan gumagamit tayo ng iba't ibang mnemonic devices to recall the information. At isa na nga dito ay sa pamamagitan ng loci technique. Dito sa method na to, gumagana ang ating imagination. Halimbawa, tinatandaan natin yung mismong pagkakasulat ng ating notes, yung mismong pwesto natin kung paano tayo nagre-review, tsaka yung mga cycle, and pinipicture out natin throughout our mind or mental. Kapag acronyms naman, lalo na kapag enumeration, gamit na gamit ito. Yung first letter ng word lang ang tinatandaan natin for us to remember the information easily. And when it comes to peg word o rhyming, kasama din yung sa music. Yung kinakanta natin yung term o isinasabay natin sa tono. Madalas o minsan pa nga ay sa Christmas song. And last, yung association technique. Ito naman yung unang pumapasok sa ating isipan kapag tayo nagre-respond. Halimbawa, nakaamoy ka ng ganitong pabango, medyo kahawig na ganito, sino agad yung unang pumapasok sa iyong isipan? So, sa pamamagitan nun, nagkakaroon tayo ng connecting information. Did you know that the human brain's capacity is limitless? That's great news, right? But did you also know that a person is likely to remember only 25% of a presentation after 24 hours? However, I'd like to quickly summarize the main points or takeaways. Information processing theory. Relating how the mind in the computer work is a powerful analogy. The term used in the information processing theory extend this analogy. In fact, those who program and design computers aim to make computer solve problems through processes similar to that of the human mind. Cognitive psychologists believe that cognitive processes influence the nature of what is learned. They considered learning as internal process, not an external behavior change, as behaviorist theorists thought. They look into how we receive, perceive, store, and retrieve information. They believe that how a person thinks about and interprets she or he receive shape what he or she will learn. All this notion was comprised what is called the information processing theory. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now and I'll do my best to answer.